What if the animation's not as good? Well, you know what I'm saying? There's so many things that would have to go together to make it really good. And if any one of them was bad or weak or crummy, then you know you risk it not being anywhere near as good as the first one was. It's like if you get up and again, a sports reference, but it's like if you get up and you hit a home run for your team, right? What happens next time you get up? What's everybody expecting you to do? Hit another home run, right? And that just doesn't happen very often. So I started it with a good bit of like, you know, kind of fear and concern. But shortly after getting into it, like just really pretty quickly after getting into it, I started falling in love with the characters and really got excited about the new story. Ed meets new people, he goes to new cities, and there's all these new adventures, and I just kind of fell right into it all over again. And I'm happy to say that the consensus with most people is that Brotherhood is in many ways even better than the first Full Metal. But at least it turned out really, really good. And so I was very grateful for that, because I certainly, you know, entered into it with a bit of trepidation. Yes, me. What was my favorite moment in Full Metal? Oh my gosh. Oh, ha. Well, I think it would probably be impossible to pick just one favorite moment, because there were so many great ones, you know? If the show were only 12 episodes long, I could probably pick one. But the fact that there was the original series and the games and the OVAs and the first movie and then the second series and OVAs and another movie, it would be impossible to pick a favorite moment. But I will tell you in general, one of my favorite moments was any of the scenes between the brothers when they were alone. Like the quieter, more emotional scenes. You know what I mean? Like usually when Ed's running around out with the other state alchemists, or if he's fighting a homunculi or whatever, he's got all this attitude, right? He's smart aleck, he's rebellious, you know what I mean? He's kind of smarmy and makes fun of things, and he's got this attitude, this arrogance. But when he's alone with his brother, then you get to see the real Ed, which is he's not quite so sure of himself. And he's a little scared about whether they're going to do the right thing or what's going to happen. Those are the moments that I love. I love those moments between the brothers when Ed is a little bit more real and a little bit more honest about himself and his fears. I love those. Yes, sir. Oh, I'm sorry. You. Yes, go ahead. I was looking at him. Go ahead. How does thank you for asking. How did my songwriting process start? Well, you know what? After 20-some years of writing songs, it starts every conceivable way. Honestly, really, I mean that. Sometimes I'll sit down and I'll make up a piece of music on the piano. So the music will come first, and then I'll start thinking of a lyric to sing along with the music that I just made up. Sometimes I'll be riding along for a long time, you guys. I used to carry a little digital recorder in my pocket, and anytime I would get an idea, I'd pull it out and I'd record the idea so I wouldn't forget it. And maybe sometimes I was listening to a song the other day, and it was like a techno kind of an up-tempo song, and I thought of a lyric, I thought of a title, just a title, a hook, as they call it in music. The hook line, the title line that they kind of sing over and over in the chorus. And I thought of this really great hook line. And so I wrote it down on my laptop so that I wouldn't forget. And maybe sometimes I'll be talking to somebody and they'll tell me a story, and something from the story will hit me a certain way, and so I'll write a song about that. I mean, there are a dozen different ways. There's a song that I wrote, I was approached by another industry professional years ago who wanted me to provide a song for a charity CD called Voices for Tolerance, was the name of the CD. And they originally wanted me to sing an already established song, and all the songs were being sung by voice actors. And then when he told me the song he wanted me to sing, I went, and as soon as he realized that I was a little bit apprehensive about that song, he said, well, listen, if you want to write something original, feel free. And so I started thinking about tolerance. I started thinking about different concepts related to embracing and loving people regardless of any influences. And I thought about this Bible passage where it says to be kind to strangers because some people have entertained angels and didn't even know it. You guys know that section where it said, basically, you know, this girl could come to my door as a complete stranger and say, you know, can you help me? And I'm like, no. Right? Well, she could have been an angel and I didn't even know it, and I was, you know what I mean? I was unkind. So I decided to write a song called Could Be an Angel. And the whole concept is built around the idea that you never know who people that you meet that are perfect strangers, you never know who they are, why they're there, where they came from, and that you should extend God's love and kindness to everyone, regardless of who they are, or what they believe, or what they don't believe. It doesn't matter, because you never know who they are, who they really could be. So, inspiration comes many different ways. I've got a lot of songs that were born out of heartbreak, quite honestly. I mean, if you live long enough, you guys, somebody's going to break your heart, or you're going to lose someone you love. And I've got a lot of songs that were written that came out of the enormous, you know, emotions that associated with loving somebody and losing them, or a relationship ending, or my grandfather passing away, or any of a number of reasons. So writing songs and getting started writing songs come from all different types of inspiration.
I got a question for you.
Well, since you have a giant blue forearm, I should answer it.
Did you try for a role in the new Star Trek movie?
Sorry?
Did you try for a role in the new Star Trek movie?
Did I try out for a role in the new Star Trek movie? Well, let me put it this way. I don't have an agent that handles me for on-camera work. I have an agent that, you know, that sends me auditions for voiceover work, but I don't have somebody that sends me auditions to do on-camera stuff. So I didn't have any way to audition for it. I did tell some people, hey, listen, if you know anybody, I would walk through the background. I would wear a red shirt. And you guys know what I'm talking about, don't you? I would wear a red shirt. You could crush me with a boulder. I don't care. You blow me out of an airlock, kill me in 3 seconds. I just want to be a part of it. But I will tell you something funny. Last week, I got an audition for the Star Trek video game. Now, I don't know that I'll get it, but I got to audition for this character that's in the new Star Trek video game. It's a voiceover, of course, it's voice acting, but that would be fun, just to be some small part of it. Hold on a second. Now, see, this is what happens. There it is. All right, let's show something, okay? Let me tell you, how many of you guys, I want to see a show of hands if you have never seen Full Metal Fantasy. How many of you have never seen, put them up high. Okay, pretty much everybody. Tip the handful. Okay, let me tell you what we're going to see here. Shortly after we started recording Full Metal Alchemist, I really started falling in love with this show. And even though I had done like 40 or 50 shows up to this point, nothing had ever really grabbed me like this show. So I started thinking, what would be a plausible story whereby a grown man could start turning into an anime character? And then I started thinking, you know, I've never seen any voice actor cosplay as their character. And then I started thinking, you know what, I should ask some of the other voice actors if they would like to be in this with me. So I made up this story, and we all came together one weekend in Houston years ago, and we made something called Full Metal Fantasy. I started showing it at conventions. That was the only place you could see it. I didn't put it online. I didn't sell it. It wasn't on any DVDs. The only place you could see it were at conventions that I attended. And after about a year, Funimation called me and they said, hey, listen, we're kind of worried that this Full Metal Fantasy thing might make the Japanese angry. The Japanese that own Full Metal Alchemist. And I'm like, well, how can it make them angry? It promotes their show. And they're like, yeah, I know, but we don't have any rights to do anything live action, Full Metal, And I'm like, well, but you're not doing it. I did it, and I'm not charging money for it. It's just for fun. And they said, well, yeah, Vic, but I mean, you're the lead character in Full Metal, and that would be like Mark Hamill making a Star Wars fan film. You know, it's just a little weird. And so reluctantly, with a sad face, I stopped showing it for years, and there was no place to see it. And then just like a year and a half or so ago, somebody from Funimation, one of my dear friends in marketing, Sophie, called me and she said, I have some good news for you. If you will let me know when you're showing it, I will, you can start showing Full Metal Fantasy at conventions again. So I'm going to show it to you today. Is that all right? Let me just say that as soon as it's done, because this is going to take us right up to our time. So as soon as it's done, I think, is Mark here? Mark, autograph session, when does that start?
We'll have that shortly after. So we'll have an area like yesterday, a sign up and a line, and it'll be right outside the ballroom area.
Okay, so those of you that I haven't gotten to meet, or if I already have, you still come by and see me and say hello. And so, if we have control of the lights in the room, I assume, let's kill the lights, and if you would please, my dears, select Full Metal Fantasy. And is there any way, there's just not any way